go over the crossover gate, get right on 220 and go south.
That's
Is that what
I'm
you're saying?
thinking, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of left front fender damage. You're actually talking about taking it to the garage, and that is now what they will do. They will go to the garage for a second time today.
Well, if Junior doesn't win the championship, this is going to be a day he'll remember as having a lot to do with it.
45 spins and just backs right up into the door of Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Watch from on board Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And Kyle gets spun.
Yeah, gets. Oh. Yeah, the 22 car of Scott Wimmer got in the back of 45 and spun him around.
Pit road, you.
Because if you're only getting fuel, Martin's not going to make it. We got trouble.
Caution on the track. And Bobby Labonte.
And what happened was Mark Martin was trying to get to pit lane, and he was slowed down in the racetrack, and I think these guys went to avoid him.
Marty, they're going to get the splash of gas anyway for Kurt Busch. 3 seconds of fuel was all he needed. He's already gone.
What a huge break for these guys because they had committed to pit road.
Trying to make pit road, and they couldn't make it. Sterling Marlin turned right to avoid a couple of cars in front of him and turned right in front of Bobby Labonte.
Dave, more on the 40.
The irony, Bill, is that they were on a don't-stop pit strategy, and I believe they could have made it. Sterling topped off late in the going, and they were able to save fuel by running in the back of the pack. They had never planned on having to come down pit road.
That is a tough break.
Well, we knew it was going to get interesting.
And the reason those guys couldn't get their way onto pit road is because they were trapped in that outside lane, and we heard how Michael and Dale Jr. worked early to get to the inside so you could get to pit road, and it did become a mess.
Well, that's right. When you got, as I said, going in turn 3, when those cars were 3 wide, they had to get to the bottom to get down to pit road.
Bobby Labonte climbing out of his car. It has been a frustrating season for that team, and a frustrating day here at Talladega. One more look. You got guys going really fast, guys going really slow.
There's a 6 car. You're right. Mark is the guy that was trying to get to the bottom of the racetrack.
Yes.
Bobby Labonte and Sterling Marlin on board with Rusty Wallace.
Hammer down. Keep going. Keep going. We'll come in on 180.
Whoa!
If I make it through this, I'm coming on 180.
Now you see the huge problem that Rusty Wallace and all those Mark Martin, all those other cars have. Now they've got to stop and restart behind all these cars that made it.
Or can they make it to the finish because of these caution laps and maybe not have to stop?
No.
Somebody will try it.
Well, who do we have anybody that topped off really late that's in that bunch? We know Sterling Marlin did, but we don't know of anybody else.
There are a handful of them that did the 38.
Yeah, but the 38's and 13th. We need somebody that's going to be, although he'll be up front if those guys stop.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Because there are under 10 laps to go, no lucky dog in this situation. Tony Stewart is currently scored as the race leader, followed by Matt Kenseth, Jamie McMurray, Kasey Kahne, and Scott Wimmer. Brendan Gaughan, Ward Burton, Rusty Wallace, Greg Biffle, and Mark Martin round out the top 10. 179 laps are complete of the schedule.
Johnson with those struggles at Talladega. Oh,
we got one on the wall.
One on the wall. It is Mike Bliss. Yellow flag with 1:21 to go.
Well, that means they can all make it on one more stop.
And 4 tires.
Driver's side impact for the 0 car. He was glad to see that safer barrier in place.
He kind of backed it in, so he either got turned or just got loose getting in.
Not going to be the kind of finish that Mike Bliss has enjoyed earlier this season. He's run 3 Nextel Cup races this year. He's got 2 top 10 finishes.
Had a great run at last week at Darlington. There's see Bliss's car, and boy, it doesn't. Something is bent.
Let's see if we can catch what happened. He's already at the top, and it's already happening. So Yeah, can't really tell.
Kurt Busch and Jeff Gordon sliding underneath it.
There we see Kurt Busch is closed up right behind Jeff Gordon. They go by the wrecked race car and say, all right, here we go.
Newman, the leader.
Caution flag is out.
We're going to have a green-white checker.
Sure looks that way.
The race leader, Ryan Newman, right front.
Yep. Another right front tire, just talking about it. Not over till it's over. He wishes it was over.
Jimmie said, please let this be over.
No kidding.
And he's only 20 years old.
He'll feel like he's 100 by the time this day's over. So the race leader with 4 laps to go, less than 4 laps to go, winds up in the wall.
Never see Ryan Newman, the 12 car, going down in turn 1, and the right front tire goes flat, and in that safer barrier he goes.
Who's in it? Did Martin get a piece of it? It was
there goes
Spencer
Kurt
that
Busch
spun out.
sliding through the grass. Woo! Hang on, Kurt. Good job. That's hard to do.
Wow.
Driving through the grass at 170 miles per hour.
So how big a piece of that did Ryan Newman and Mark Martin get?
Oh, man.
Check out the pavement.
Big enough.
Big
enough
trouble.
is right.
22 laps to go, racing for second place.
And you could see Ryan Newman was right on Mark Martin's right rear. I bet you he took the air off the spoiler.
Damage to both front fenders. Looks like the left rear as well.
He got every corner but the left rear.
I guess the left rear isn't banged up, just the front.
All right, now, some of these other guys that don't have the crash damage. Do you pit here, take on fresh tires?
And Newman was just up on. Oh, no, that started in front of him. Oh, man. Oh, talk about that bad luck, BP. Look at Kurt Busch. That is hard to do. I mean, normally when you hit the grass, it's like hitting ice. He did a good job. Just kept the steering wheel straight, let the car slow down, and finally get to the pavement.
Here they come, Bill. Kvapil's in the wall. That's Kurt Busch, the championship leader, the blue and yellow car on the bottom of the racetrack. How much damage?
I don't think he got much damage out of that.
We're in it. Right front got damaged pretty bad.
He said the right front was damaged pretty bad. We see where the fender is bent a little bit.
That's not too bad. I think he's going to get in there and they can pop that right out.
Row 2 in the 10 car.
Yeah, man, that is just a tough break for Scotty. He had a good starting spot. See, he's trying to get out of the way right there. Then everybody comes in, and the guys in the back are going fast, got nowhere to go, and they just jam up.
Was that Andretti that ran in the back? Yes, that was John Andretti, the 14 car. His first race with this team ran in the back of Biffle as Biffle tried to stop and avoid the 10. Oh, and Greg goes head on in the wall. There goes the 51 of Rains around, and that's where he got the damage to the right front on the 97.
Yeah.
The 51 and the 97 made contact as they were spinning.
All that damage to Greg Biffle's car, and they weren't even in fourth gear yet.
So he talked about a couple things a few minutes ago.
While he was talking about Elliott Sadler's test
trouble, car on the wall.
Oh, trouble in the racetrack.
Jason Leffler in the 60.
And that is heavy damage to that car. Heavy, heavy damage.
Caution flag is out. Field slows. That's in turn 4. And boy, that's a big hit. Right front tire. So maybe that tire failed and caused this.
It sure looks like, yes, it looks like a right front tire failure. looks like it's narrowed up a foot, maybe even more.
Under the first caution of the race came out 5 laps in when Jason Leffler hit the wall. We talked about him brushing the wall earlier. We can show it to you.
There we see him bouncing off the wall. That's up in turn 1. Now here he's going, there we see him just brushing the wall. But that knocks the fender in on the tire. It rubs. The end result, a few laps later,
boom.
Boom.
Given the 97 car, plenty of room getting into turn 1. Uh-oh, we got trouble already in turn 1.
Cars in the wall. It's toward the back of the field. Was Jimmie Johnson in it? It's Mike Bliss. And is that Elliott Sadler in the 0-2?
Yes, it is.
Jimmie Johnson got through. Wow.
Well, there's one lucky episode he got through.
It's Bliss coming at you left of the screen.
Hermie just goes around, looks like.
No, he made contact with somebody. Somebody hit him in the left front, and he lost control.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he was way up high going into turn 1. They were 3 abreast. There was no room. And it looks like Bliss just spun it to avoid Hermie.
Jimmie Johnson. That's the danger lane you're in when you start in the back of the pack. Caution's out early at Homestead. This car not win the race.
Quite often in this game.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
And you know, if you're new to NASCAR, that sounds weird, but it's like the planets have. Oh, trouble. Who's smoking? Kevin Harvick. Did not hit anything. Caution is out. I've got one spinning behind him. Is that Kenseth?
2 or 3 spinning.
That Kenseth it is.
And there's another car up against the wall between 1 and 2.
Oh, Carl Edwards.
He's just having a rotten night.
Looks like there was some oil on the racetrack, and maybe Carl got into it.
He's probably going to wish he hadn't come back here to get into this race car tonight.
Turn 1, and you'll see he loses the engine right there.
And Kurt Busch, the 97 car, right behind him. You see the oil dropping on the racetrack. Man.
So that's what started it. And here's how the rest of them got involved.
Oh, the 19 he just drove right in the oil. He was on the high side of the racetrack. There's nothing you can do. There's 17, Matt Kenseth. And there's nothing you can do as a driver. When you're going to a corner that fast and you hit oil, you are going for the ride.
Remember Kasey Kahne with, what, 15 laps to go at Dover, leading the race, went down in turn 3, hit some oil, and did the same thing, only hit the wall a lot harder. And the 17 car also crashed. Matt.
BP, they are still trying to figure out what is wrong with Kasey Kahne's Dodge. Tommy Baldwin told him, now put the car in neutral. Does it still vibrate? He says, yes, still vibrates. Told him to shut the motor off. Shut it off. He said, no, it's not vibrating. He went to restart it. It would not turn over. He had to bump start it. They're trying to figure out if indeed it's the motor, the transmission. A lot of conversation going on between crew chief Tommy Baldwin and Kasey Kahne.
Matt, why did they choose not to pit? They can make it on one more stop, and they feel like their car's going to be okay with these tires?
That was what they were talking about, BP. They were going to be good to go at this point on one more stop. The bigger concern, though, if this race car will last, they are not sure. Kasey, in fact, said maybe we should just pit anyway and just take a look at it. But they are still talking about the car that is leading the race may have a possible problem that could keep it out of victory lane.
He's probably going through exactly what Kenseth went through. Oh, we got another.
Brendan Gaughan.
Cut a tire when they made contact.
Into the wall in turn 2. Don't come back into traffic. Wow.
I wonder if that cut that left rear when they bounced off each other.
Looks like it did, and it instantly cut that left rear tire.
What happens here? You see him get underneath.
And right there, they made contact.
That's what it was. It just cut that tire.
And crunch.
I wonder if it did any damage to the right front fender on that 9 car.
Oh boy, who was that took to the grass?
That was a good move. That was
probably Tony Raines, maybe in the 23.
I don't know. We'll have to see that on this look, because if whoever it was, that was one heck of a move to keep from hitting. Brendan.
Yep, Tony Raines.
Nice job, Tony. Turn 2. Oh my goodness. Kasey Kahne, the race leader, has hit the wall.
Oh my gosh, my gosh. And we got crashes off turn 4.
Sterling Marlin and Kyle Busch.
Yeah. Well,
the fastest car
doesn't always win the race.
Doesn't always win the race. Kasey Kahne has led 207 of 267 laps tonight. His car has crashed and stopped off of the turn 2 exit, and he has hit the wall hard.
A ton. Let's see if we can see what in the world might have happened to Kasey Kahne.
I think we got a pretty good idea. Boom, there it goes. Well,
Right front tire.
Right front tire.
Man, oh man.
Matt.
BP, his cousin Cole earlier said looked like something broke. Tommy asked him, tire or does something break? He says, tire.
What a heartbreak. Now, what happened off turn 4?
2 guys started fighting. Well, actually, one just spun. That was Kyle Busch that just spun. And
Sterling hit the apron. When he hit the apron, it just shot the car sideways.
let's go on board with Sterling Marlin, probably the same car. And
See if he doesn't get hit by Kyle Busch here.
No. Oh, yeah. Now watch, he goes down here.
he might.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Tell you what. How about that, John? Spin it around, keep going.
Well, they knew he was here tonight.
Son, I feel badly for you. That's what's happened this year is criminal. Someone ought to be arrested.
Well, you know what, though? If you're going to go out, that's the way to go out.
We are under caution at the Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama. A multi-car crash.
Jeremy, is that up? I didn't see it, but there's Bobby Hamilton 32, Jimmy Spencer in the 4, Jeff Green in the 43, and the 19, Jeremy Mayfield.
One of the contenders in the chase for the Nextel Cup.
Well, you know, Jeremy Mayfield had the problem in Loudon, New Hampshire, and I said at the time I thought he still had a chance to win the championship. I thought you had a mulligan. I don't think you have 2 mulligans. I think this does take him out of the chase for the Nextel Cup in 2004.
The only argument to that is we got a long way to go here. And he's got 9 other contenders to see what happens to them. We did have a report that Elliott Sadler in the 38 was having trouble. That's the 43 car of Jeff Green, stopped.
Well, it looks like the 43 got tagged by the 02 car.
Hermie Sadler.
And
Mayfield nowhere to go.
Yeah. And like I said, when something like that happens at a racetrack like this, I mean, sometimes if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you cannot do anything about it. Like Jimmy Spencer was up there in the highline, he had nowhere to go. Track was blocked.
Some nice moves there to avoid being a participant.
And once again, Terry Labonte, remember yesterday in practice, he barely missed the 42 car. Well, he barely missed a spinning car there.
At 6th place. Oh, who's that? Kasey Mears.
The left rear finally goes.
Caution is out. Yep. Matt, he did have a left rear going down.
Remember, these cars do not run inner liners, as Robbie Gordon blows up as well. These cars do not run inner liners here at Phoenix. And when he entered turn 1, it was on the rim.
The left rear, right there.
Just blew out. And
you try to hang on, but you're not.
He was steering away.
You're along for the ride.
That's too bad. Was in position for a career best Nextel Cup finish. Not now. He has climbed from the car and is walked over to the ambulance for the ride to the infield medical center. In traffic, turn 2, Joe Nemechek gets bumped and spun around and clobbered by Elliott Sadler.
Elliott Sadler could not see through the smoke.
Elliott Sadler, who had just gotten a lucky dog pass and gotten back on the lead lap at the last yellow flag. Now he needs a new radiator.
Yeah, a new oil cooler. He's knocking the line off.
Yep, time to get out.
Oh, man. This may be a green-white checker.
Saw that little flash of fire. Probably felt that little flash of fire when he started to drive away.
I wouldn't doubt it a bit.
Looks like Joe gets tagged by Labonte. And then Sadler's up high. He cannot see. Just clobbers Joe.
I mean, look at all that smoke. We see Elliott back there, and there's room, but you can't see what's there. I mean, you're right. He was totally blind. He's lucky he didn't get it on the other side.
Joe Nemechek's ride.
Hard left.
Hey.
That's it. I got two cars in a row, one bursting into flames. Ken Schrader with a scary moment. Dale Jr., the other one involved in the crash. The fire extinguishing itself on Schrader's car after the brief flare-up. And the yellow flag's out with 17 to go.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's
Schrader's out of the car.
Schrader's bailing out of that car. I'll tell you what, this caution flag is something that Mark Martin did not need to see.
No, you are right.
That's an unhappy camper there.
Yes, it is.
I bet you we can get inside that A car and maybe see what happened. And all of that oil and water that hit Dale Jr.'s camera also hit his tires.
Yes.
And that's why he got into the wall.
Now watch the flare up there.
Boy, there's debris that all over the racetrack. See it laying there that these lead cars have to run through to get back.
Sideways in the trail. Number 5, the checker is out, and somebody upside down. Elliott Sadler again lands on his wheels.
Yeah, good save right there. You all right?
Sadler, who had that terrible tumble here a year ago, on his roof at the finish.
Well, if they left this race 10 minutes early, they missed it.
And these rescue workers, I hope these guys are paying attention. We have rescue workers on the backstretch attending to the wrecked cars there.
Take a look here at Elliott Sadler down on the bottom.
On the
Somebody blocked him.
That's Burton there.
Those guys just all squeezed down. He got hit in the right front fender, turned his car inside the racetrack, and the worst thing you want to do with a race car, get on the grass.
The roof flaps deploy, but not enough to keep that 38 on the ground, and Elliott Sadler takes the Talladega tumble.
At least it didn't tumble like it did last year.
He's getting better at this.
Yeah.
Well, that's because he puts on the brakes once it gets in the air, right? So it doesn't help.
Wow.
And again, here they come to the finish line, which is at the end of pit row. And a frightening sight.
Yeah, especially for the flagger.
Yes, sir.
Trouble turn 2. Caution flags out. Ryan Newman punched the wall. Who's in the black car? Is that...
Hard to tell by that angle.
Let's try this one.
Well, if there's two of them involved and they're both spinning,
Yeah.
chances are there was some contact between them.
Question, was the 12 passing the 25 on the outside, or was the 25 trying to go by the 12 on the inside?
A lot of room right there. Did not have to.
Oh, that's Kasey Kahne. The field scatters. Travis Kvapil to the inside wall. Oh! And the outside wall. And they got through another one.
Holy cow.
I'll tell you, Travis Kvapil in that 06 car, he turned that baby sideways, running about 180 miles an hour. See him moving around in the car.
Yeah, window net's down. Letting the rescue guys know he's okay.
Junior get a piece of that?
He was right in the middle of it.
Kurt Busch.
Wow, they...
What's it? And Junior just goes right above the 9 car. I don't think he had any damage.
Oh, boy. That car wouldn't stop. Kvapil's. So what set the 9 apart? All right, he just
got high and got loose.
Wow, look at him come across the racetrack.
That's a scary part right there. When a car comes right back across the racetrack like that, oncoming traffic, it's very scary.
Oh,
that's why he got turned sideways.
Back her down, back her down, back her down, back her down. Watch her now, watch her now. Stay high, stay high.
Fuel mileage thing, DP.
Basically, the top 10 guys in the running order did not pit.
oh, trouble behind the leaders.
Jimmie Johnson.
Jimmie Johnson, another championship contender across the track to the inside on the grass. Heavy damage. Again for the 48. Trouble in the chase.
Jimmy, talk to us, bud.
Pretty mad right now.
I don't want to talk right now.
You see him moving around. Caution is out.
Got it in gear.
Yep, gonna try to drive it back.
When Mark Martin just somehow squeezes by.
Wow. Here's another look.
Tony Stewart.
Bobby Labonte.
All get by. Who was that that goes down through the grass? Oh, it was Kasey Kahne, wasn't it?
Yep, and another one right behind him.
Brian Vickers. Man.
Mark's got a pretty good seat from here. There's Jimmie Johnson up on the high side. Just looks like he gets loose and gets in them marbles a little bit.
Wow.
Clear, clear, clear.
I did the same.
Yellow's out, yellow's out. Yep.
Dave. Well, Marty, talk with Doug Richard of the 16 crew. Get back upstairs, guys.
Got trouble, turn 2. J.J. Yaley and Brendan Gaughan. Yaley in the 11, Gaughan in the 77.
Man. So look what that pit stop cost Brendan Gaughan. He gets back there at the end of the...
Back there in the end of the line in the traffic. Caught up in the accident.
We see Brendan up there on the very top. Just loses it, Wally.
Yaley.
Yaley, I'm sorry, yeah.
Gets up in the gray stuff and then he turns it back to the right, which Brendan Gaughan thought he was going down the racetrack, so he chose to go high, but unfortunately Yaley started going back up the racetrack and Brendan had no place to go. See Brendan there.
Yeah, he thinks he's going down.
Going down the racetrack, and then he turns it to the right. Oh, man.
That's
bad luck right there.
Yes, sir.
That is bad luck.
Laps to go. Oh, Martin hanging on.
He's trying to drive the car right now faster and harder than the tires will allow him to.
No trouble. Championship contender in trouble. Crashing on the back straightaway.
No.
Believe this.
Was that contact
like he
with
had
Edwards?
contact with Carl Edwards. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Another championship twist.
Oh, no.
It's unbelievable.
It is. I don't think I have to say a lot of damage to the 8-car, do I?
Kurt Busch might be the luckiest dog today. Watch the 99 car of Carl Edwards as Earnhardt Jr. moves up the racetrack.
You just make a little bit of contact, at 190 miles per hour. That's the result.
Didn't Junior do something like that?
Here.
Wasn't
it? Was Ryan Newman?
Was it Ryan Newman?
Yeah.
And crashed exactly the same way a couple of years ago?
He thought he was clear, but he just hooked the bumper.
And that's a big hit.
That is a big hit. Oh, not only
in more ways than
one, yeah.
The onboard view from Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car.
He sees that 6 car, and he sees that 6 car in trouble.
Just as we come back to Chicagoland, that's the race leader, Kasey Kahne. He took fuel only on the restart, and he's got company in the big pile.
Junior, the 8 car has crashed.
Dave Blaney, John Andretti was involved. 4 tires, no tires, 2 tires.
And Jeff Burton, the 99 car.
You think somebody spun their tires on a restart?
No, because Tony Stewart jumped up on the outside of Sterling Marlin and passed him on the restart, which was legal, but he might have made contact with the 9 car.
Scott Riggs with damage. He was having a good run. Kasey Kahne took fuel only on his pit stop, got out front with the lead. His teammate Jeremy Mayfield and Sterling Marlin only took right side tires. Tony Stewart was the first one with 4 tires. He got an incredible jump on the restart to the outside. You see Blaney waiting for help.
I'm interested to see what happened myself.
All right, now listen. Here you got 20 on fresh tires. Now he gets a great start. Now the 9 doesn't have fresh tires, so he's going to have to be a little bit more careful getting the corner. He's going to back out early. Tony doesn't. He can drive in deeper because he's got newer tires. That's what caused that deal.
He ran in the back of the 9 car, just turned him, and into the wall he went.
Tony just did not expect the 9 car to lift, and maybe he wasn't told that he was on older tires. Unfortunately, it took out a lot of good race cars.
Never see the contact between the 10.
Wow,
but nobody did anything wrong on that deal. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're driving the car to how the car feels. It just, the 9 had to get out earlier because he wasn't on the fresher tires.
See Dale Jr. get knocked around and spun. Second place driver in the championship.
And once the 9 car comes off the wall, he leaves those other fellows behind him with no place to go. We're talking about the guy that was leading the race spinning.
On a restart with the whole field bunched up together. Fortunately, they weren't all up to top speed yet.
Sure did a lot of damage not being up to top speed, though, as well.
By the way, Kasey Kahne back on the lead lap.
Oh!
Contact.
Almost contact. Was that Rusty? Oh, Rusty getting
Trevor Wallace is into the wall. And a big mess. Scott Riggs has crashed. More contact.
Right in front. Oh, man.
Terry Labonte in the 5, smoking and steaming.
Has no place to go with the 10 car.
Ward Burton.
Outside pole sitter Ward Burton.
If we can see, I think that's Rusty right behind Biffle.
I think it is too.
And it looks like maybe, is that Kasey Mears?
Yep. And then somebody, Rusty bounces off of Kasey, and somebody behind him, maybe Jeff Burton in that black car, the 99.
That's exactly what
looks like it might have.
Rusty went up and drove into the door of Kasey Mears, and I think it cost him.
Watch that 10 car. Right in front of Terry Labonte and Ward Burton. And Ricky Rudd somehow squeezes through the hole. I don't know how much damage he has. He has to have some. Watch this 10 car fly. Oh man.
He got drilled by...
that was where Scott Wimmer got the damage.
Yeah.
And then I believe it's Kyle Petty's the last one to get a piece of this. Watch for a red, white, and blue car. Just to get a piece of the back end of this. I think he caught Bobby Labonte.
I think Rusty was trying to squeeze up in between Biffle and Kasey Mears.
Wow, Kurt Busch just missed another one.
Yeah.
just to the right of the screen, Kyle Petty just gets a piece of Bobby Labonte. I stand by my original statement. Big mess.
Yes.
I think Rusty's just trying to get in between the two cars of Kasey Mears
and I think Biffle was coming back up the racetrack. He'd gone low, and I think he was coming back up the racetrack to try to get his entry into the corner, and Rusty trying to go through those two. And I think Rusty had to check up because of Biffle coming up the hill.
Boy, still the end result that cost him. Cost a lot of guys.
Here's Kurt Busch, your championship leader. We got one in trouble. Oh, Brian Vickers. Look at that.
Wow.
That's sliding right across the start-finish line.
That's coming off turn 4, and somebody did clear him, or he thought he was clearing some contact in the rear, probably.
Sorry, guys. I should have just spun it out. Sorry about that.
He tried
to save it.
Yeah, tried to save it.
You get one shot at saving these cars. You know what I mean? You get, when it gets away, you get one shot, and if it hooks and goes the other way and you still try to save it,
big trouble.
See, you heard Brian talking to his crew. You see him there unhooking the safety equipment. Third caution of the race is out. Nasty crash.
And let's see if we can see what might have happened to the 25. He's trying to go by Robbie Gordon in 31.
And he's pushing. He pushed. He slid up the racetrack. He pushed into Robbie. And there we were just talking about it. You get one shot at saving these race cars. So, wow.
Oh, man. West Wing all over again.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, that was a shot. But that's what happened. He just lost a nose. And this is a racetrack, too, where you'll get aero tight around other race cars.
This is at full speed. Watch this.
Oh, man, what we call a tank slapper.
And Kurt Busch going through all that debris.
Bobby Labonte's view.
Careful.
He ran over a lot of debris.
He sure did.
Got to run. 97 car. Kurt Busch really got to run. Push the 21 car right on by.
That 97 has shown to be fast. Very fast.
And what's at stake for him here? He's
trouble.
Contact on the backstretch. It's Mike Waltrip and now Brian Vickers. Robbie Gordon, 31. The time. Oh, Waltrip's over. 1, 2, 3 times for Michael Waltrip.
Well, there's the big one right there. Took a lot. There's a lot of good cars right there. Is that Sterling Marlin in there?
40 cars in it. That's Michael Waltrip's car upside down.
Terry Smith.
See movement there at the left side of the car as we look at it. Caution flag is out. The field has slowed. And the safety and rescue workers already there attending to Michael Waltrip's car and the others involved in this big crash down the back straightaway.
Like that, you are just a passenger, especially when these cars start turning each other. Here you see, looks like Johnny Sauter slid up in the 30 car into Brian Vickers in the 25. A chain reaction.
Yes, that's Michael talking. Yeah.
And Biffle, the pole sitter, looks like he barely got through there.
So you see the tire come off of Michael's car, then it got into that grass softened by the rain, and it just dug in, just like we saw Ryan Newman's last year and sent the car over.
There's Harvick, Kevin LePage, Johnny Benson,
Terry Labonte, and saw McMurray and Vickers.
Okay, here we go. This might be our best shot.
Watch the car at the bottom there. The blue and yellow car. Slides up right there. Just ever so little contact, which doesn't look like a lot when you're running 185, 190 miles per hour. It's a lot.
There's the 15. The mountain right now, he's going to dig in. There goes one of the tires that Alan talked about. Violent.
Very violent.
Yeah, when you hit that grass,
hang on.
Now the 30 car, he comes up and just, it's like you said, Wally, another 6 inches, probably would have not been an accident.
And it looks like the 30 to me got a little bit loose down there. He got a little bit loose. He corrected, but when he corrected, he slid up the racetrack, and unfortunately, there were 2 cars on the outside of him.
So my count, at least 10 cars involved in this accident.
It's hard to tell if he got loose or he pushed up there, but
the end result is still the same.
Yeah.
Michael hit by Robbie Gordon, and then here's the dig. Right there.
Dig.
You can see just how high that he throws the dirt as the car goes over.
A couple other cars almost got on their lid, too. That was Kevin LePage in the 4 car got some air.